In a world where warships shape the destiny of oceans, where the price of dominance is measured in billions, where the future of naval warfare hangs on a razor's edge, one ship was supposed to change everything. A war machine so advanced it looked like it came from another century. A destroyer designed to redefine power projection, stealth, and naval firepower. But behind the promises, behind the headlines, hid a darker truth. Cost overruns, canceled weapons, engine failures, and a fleet that went from 32 ships to just 3. Today, on Armory Unveiled, we uncover the shocking truth behind one of the U.S. Navy's most ambitious and controversial warships ever built. This is the story of the Zumwalt-class destroyer, and why it was almost a total failure. The year is 2001. The U.S. Navy dreams of a new kind of destroyer, one that could slip past enemy radar, strike deep inland, and fight in the littorals where older ships would be sitting ducks. It was called DDX, a next-generation super destroyer. It promised 3 revolutions. 1. Stealth, a destroyer with the radar signature of a fishing boat. 2. Firepower, a gun system capable of hitting targets 80 to 100 miles inland. 3. Automation, a crew of just 140 instead of 300. The Navy envisioned 32 of them patrolling the world's oceans, projecting American power into the 21st century. But soon, reality would strike. The Zumwalt's design was revolutionary. A sharp pyramidal bow, smooth surfaces, no obvious mast, a radar profile that made it nearly invisible. But this was also its greatest weakness. The Zumwalt used a tumblehome hull, a shape not seen in warships in over 100 years. It promised stealth, but it sacrificed stability. Analysts warned, in rough seas, this ship could capsize. The Navy insisted the design was tested and safe, but critics believed the Zumwalt was playing with physics. And that was just the beginning of its problems. The Zumwalt wasn't just a ship, it was a floating laboratory. Integrated power system, advanced gun system, composite deckhouse, electric propulsion, 80 megawatts of power. But trying to build all of these at the same time caused chaos. Prices soared, delays multiplied, and the Navy began losing faith. Every time a new technology slipped, the whole ship slipped with it. A program once estimated at $3.8 billion per ship exploded to nearly $8 billion each. And that doesn't even include R&D. The true cost? Over $22 billion for just 3 ships. A cost so high, Congress nearly killed the program entirely. But nothing symbolizes the Zumwalt's downfall like its most ambitious weapon. The advanced gun system. 2 massive 155mm guns capable of firing the LRAP, long-range land attack projectile. A guided shell so accurate it could strike a target after flying 100 miles. It should have been the destroyer's crown jewel. But instead, each shell cost $800,000. Yes, $1 million for 1 round. And because the Navy cut the fleet from 32 ships, the cost of the projectiles skyrocketed even higher. The Navy made a stunning admission: we can't afford ammunition for the guns. The result? The Zumwalt, an $8 billion destroyer, went to sea with guns that could not be fired. Losing its gun system was devastating. The Zumwalt was originally designed as a land attack destroyer. But without ammunition, it was useless in that role. The Navy pivoted. The Zumwalt would be reborn as a hypersonic missile platform. Enter the CPS system, the Navy's first hypersonic weapon, capable of reaching Mach 5+ speeds. The Zumwalt's massive hull and electric power system made it the perfect candidate. Suddenly, failure turned into opportunity. The destroyer would now become one of the deadliest missile ships in the world. But the transition came at a price. As the first ship entered service, it didn't take long for problems to appear. Power failures, software glitches, propulsion breakdowns. The USS Zumwalt broke down in the Panama Canal. It had to be towed to port, a humiliating moment for the U.S. Navy. Then its sister ship, USS Michael Mansour, suffered a catastrophic engine failure during trials. The Navy replaced its massive turbines at a cost of millions. These were not minor issues. These were fundamental failures in a warship that was supposed to be the future. The Navy now had 3 multi-billion-dollar ships, and none of them fully combat-ready. The original plan, 32 ships, then 24, then 7, finally, just 3. 3 ships that couldn't justify a whole ecosystem of parts, logistics, and training. The Navy had built a ship too advanced, too expensive, and too unique to survive its own ambition. It was a future no one could afford. But the story doesn't end in failure. The Navy began a radical modernization, removing advanced gun systems, installing hypersonic missile tubes, upgrading combat systems, expanding electronic warfare capabilities, strengthening power distribution. Suddenly, a ship once seen as a joke started looking like a nightmare for enemy fleets. The Zumwalt is now evolving into a 21st-century arsenal ship, capable of launching missile strikes that no other destroyer can match. Its failure became its rebirth. So, was the Zumwalt a failure? Yes. And no. It failed as a program, over budget, over-engineered, under-delivering. The guns failed, the fleet size failed, the cost control failed. But as a technology testbed, as a stepping stone for future warships, the Zumwalt might become one of the most important ships of its generation. Millions were wasted, billions were burned, but the lessons learned will shape the Navy for decades. The Zumwalt was almost a total failure, but sometimes failure is the price of innovation. A ship that was nearly scrapped may yet become the spearhead of America's next great naval revolution. This is Armory Unveiled, and this was the truth behind the Zumwalt-class destroyer. Like, share, and subscribe for more military updates.